Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can sign up to be a member of the Shannons Club, your local Holden certified service centre, Pace Farm the enjoyable egg, and Heron Forbes Machinery House, where you can buy online. G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome as I bring you to a suburb of Canberra in Australia's Capital Territory. Today it's a few bits and pieces to show you, so now it's time to go check them out in this week's Classic Restos on the road. Before we go into today's show, I'd like to show you this. It can be a fairly daunting exercise importing a classic into Australia. I've had a great experience with dealing with West Coast shipping out of San Francisco and then a company by the name of Dazmac into Sydney. Here's a little segment on West Coast shipping to keep in mind for your next import. Shipping your classic from the United States to Australia can be a daunting procedure. To tell us more, here's Melinda from West Coast Shipping in San Francisco. And complete with the unique Fletchy safety vest. How are you, Melinda?
I'm doing wonderful, Fletch.
Thank you so much. Now, this warehouse, you cater for a lot of vehicles, motorcycles, cars, light trucks, and you ship pretty well around the world?
We ship mostly pretty much around the world. There are some countries that we don't do, like our Mexican border we don't service too much. I think we do ship to Brazil and we do go to Hawaii, Canada, most of the time because those vehicles could be just brought in by trucks and things like that.
In the beginning I did mention getting a vehicle from the United States to Australia can be a daunting procedure, but we can obviously expand on that. Classic Restos goes, well, everywhere around the world in terms of a visual perspective. Getting a shipper that you can trust, it's always something that you worry about on the other side of the world. Has my vehicle made the container? Is it on the boat all okay? Maybe the ports it might go to on the way. It's always something that until you see the vehicle delivered to your driveway at home, it can be stressful. So what points do you have to maybe ease that for someone that may use West Coast shipping?
We try to make it simple as possible for our customers from point A to point B. That way it makes sure that their mind and heart is at ease, because obviously it is their dream vehicle that is coming to them, and we understand that, and we want to make sure that we take the same pride that they take in the vehicle that we take in the vehicle.
Okay, so obviously the website as well
Yes.
would be a lot of information there, and also phone number on the bottom of the screen now, obviously in the hours that United States is open for business, and to feel free and call up for a chat?
Yes, we are open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 for phone calls, and we have 3 offices, one in California, one in New Jersey, and one in Florida.
From a time frame, Melinda, if a vehicle got here this afternoon, in how many weeks roughly could it take, supposing to go from San Francisco to Melbourne? What sort of a time frame on average would we look at?
On average, I want to say that mostly the shipping takes about 30 days from point A to point B. Sometimes it does take a little bit longer depending on customs, depending on ships, depending on the ship traffic and things like that. But 90% I want to say it's about 30 days, maybe 45 if you get it. But we still have to, go through the customs process. We still have to make sure, especially going to Australia and New Zealand, we have to make sure that it goes through all the proper inspections that we have to take to, make sure there's no bugs and no asbestos and all of those good things.
Now that's interesting. So the asbestos, the brake removal and the inspection, you guys take care of that as well?
We do. Yes, we do.
That's very, very important. Now, if you've got your heart set on that dream vehicle, bike, car, light truck, don't be put off by the process. They do a great job here. Alex, Melinda and the team. For more information, visit wcshipping.com. Thanks, Melinda.
Thank you, Fletch. Have a great day.
Yeah, I can definitely endorse West Coast Shipping. They've been established since 2007. They say that your shipping should be effortless, and it pretty well is. West Coast Shipping have 3 locations. They're based in California, Florida, and out of New Jersey. They've got an experienced logistics team, and they're the ones that really do make a difference. Each customer is assigned a dedicated account manager to handle your vehicle, and they're the ones that will keep in touch with you. Their loading team holds a lot of experience as well and knowledge to safely operate and load any type of vehicle, which is definitely a bonus. My experience with the 62 Cadillac Coupe de Ville was flawless. It arrived without any trace of damage or scuff marks whatsoever. West Coast looked after its pickup by road from Detroit over to the Jersey port. Where New South Wales is concerned, West Coast Shipping works in with a company by the name of Dazmac, and they're based in Revesby. And the team there also do a great job. The 62 is my 3rd vehicle using them, again without drama. Importing a classic, be it bike, car or truck from the USA to pretty well anywhere in the world, West Coast Shipping is the go. They have a relatively easy 6-step guide on the shipping process. Check them out on the socials or find out more at westcoastshipping.com.
Like Dad, I've always been a Ford man. The Falcon Squire wagon was unloved in 1964, but turns heads today. The Americans call them woodies, but the panelling, it's just fiberglass and plastic. But it's a passion that Shannons understands, which is why my Fords are insured with Shannons. And now, so's the home.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
When it comes to cars, there are some brands that will remain with us forever, no matter what. The Holden was always Australia's own car, held high in the hearts of many. Those lines, that chrome, the stories around them, and the people that owned them. From the classic through to the final, you can still trust in genuine Holden and AC Delco parts, available through the Holden Certified Service Network. In 2024, why not consider a Detroit tour with Fletch? Detroit, the automotive epicenter. It will leave you gobsmacked. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Book your 2024 Detroit tour with Fletch. Email fletchtours@mail.com. It's time now for this guy. How are you, Paul?
Not too bad, thanks, yeah.
Going well?
Yeah, still standing.
That's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Paul, you've got a few things here of interest. Behind us, a 1937 Dodge Coupe, 2-door car, pretty rare. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, Fletch, I'll just show you. This car come from Cooma back in them days. It was bought new in Cooma by a fella up there, and another bloke bought it off him and wrecked it. So it come from the scrub, out of the scrub, and that's the way it is now. But yeah, it's a 1937 Dodge Coupe, number 94 body. Yeah, that's the original way the upholstery was done. I think it's a deluxe, the way the upholstery's done. Put it back the same way. We're still not quite finished yet. I've got to get a few more bits for it, but anyway. Well, yeah, it's just a nice model, I think. It's pretty well advanced with all the chassis mounts and all that stuff on it, the way they're built. The motor's pretty good. They're a fairly good motor in it. That is the original engine, but it was stripped, laying out in the weather. Had to rebore it, re-crown, crankshaft. Had to find a lot of parts for it, radiators. Right, Fletch, I'll show you this 35 Ford. Well, I got this off a bloke who had a big divorce job, so yeah, it's got to be finished off. There's bits and pieces not done properly in it. Well, the engine, he ended up getting this engine from America because the other one was all seized up. But anyway, that come with in this and another reconditioned engine besides. In this shed we've got 2 more cars, or 3 more cars, but 2 36 Fords. This one I bought from Victoria as it is. That one I rebuilt back in 1980, that blue one. This is all original, as close as original as you can get, I think. This one I got from way up near Parks years ago. Had to build it out of about 2 or 3 cars. It's close to original as you can get now. It's still got the mechanical brakes. Yeah, this one's come from Melbourne. He had it advertised for a big heap of money, but I ended up getting a lot damn cheaper than that. The motor wasn't going, a lot of things had to be fixed. That's the way I bought it, the way it is. Well, I'm in the Queanbeyan Car Club. Well, I'm in 2 car clubs, but it's the Queanbeyan one at the most. Well, I'm retired now, and I don't do much else. Just play with cars. Yeah, well, this car, I got it from up near Berrydale. It was a complete wreck, rusted out, and I didn't even know it was so rare. But anyways, we got it to this stage, and yeah, it's 1937 Y series Ford. I don't know if you can see the motor. It's only a little 8 horsepower. But I've had this for 20 odd years, 26, 7 years. This is a Honda Shadow. It's about 2009, I think. I got the seat off it so I can charge the battery. She runs, it's just a matter of hit the starter, it'll go. About a 1950 something, 55 AJS single pot, 500. This one here might interest you. This is a 1936 Ford Coupe Ute. It's still got the V8 in it. I've got to finish, I've got a lot of parts. Everything's for it, just a matter of finishing it off. Well, I've got a new floor in it. I put the floor in it. I've got to fix a bit up in here, finish the woodwork off. But that's, these were built in Victoria. Well, Australian built ute. Well, they call them a coupe ute, not a normal ute. People arguing about Ford didn't do the first ute. Well, they probably didn't either, but they call this a coupe ute. That's a pretty good tyre. Been on there for about 50 years, I suppose. Yeah, Fletch, I'll show you this 52. I got it off the same bloke that had the 35. They were going to scrap it. They reckon it was full of rust, but there is a little bit of rust, not that much. Just the paint, not much good. Somebody didn't do the job properly, but just all the interiors. But they were going to scrap it. Yeah, this is the first of the custom ones. What I've got to do with this is get the electric fuel pump going. It's at the back. Pump fuel up into the main pump. Once you get that up, they go first kick. Once you get the fuel up, they'll go first kick. But this is the car my grandson wants. It's an early Model A. It's an AR, they call them. She goes, I just haven't bothered. I've got to fix the radiator up. I've had the radiator out of it. I'll get it going for you, Fletch. I'll just go around the other side and turn the fuel on.
Well, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to share some of your yard with us. It's one of these places that takes me back to, well, my grandfather. He was born in 1896, passed in 1998. He was 101 and a half. And I grew up with him. He had a backyard with a shed, not as much stuff as what you've got. But to go to Granddad's place, and you might be watching this, and take you back to your grandparents, and to hang around him in his shed. And when I walk around here, that's what it takes me back to, you know?
I'd like to go back with these old blokes who used to do this stuff back years ago. They had a bit of common sense. But you can't get anybody today that you can talk to.
Paul, you're the tail end of what we have. The tail end of the old school. And yeah, this is legendary stuff. This whole yard and all these bits and pieces, everything must mean so much to you.
Well, it does. You can't throw it away neither, because you never get it back.
No.
You'll never get it back.
No. Thanks for your time, Paul.
Yeah, right.
And being a member of the SARC Club too, and they do great things for Queanbeyan.
Yeah, they're a fairly big club. So.
With me now, the grandson of Paul. How are you, Liam?
Not bad, Fletch.
See, again, we talk about the next generation coming on through. the classic car fraternity, and not just the classic cars, but the memorabilia and parts and bits and pieces hanging around a yard. And some people look at it as junk. It is, but it's cool junk. It's junk you can rummage around for hours. And do you like making stuff, Liam?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
A bit handy on the tools?
Yeah, a little bit. I watch Pa a lot and I learn a lot. And I've hung around Pa since I was a kid, and I've learned a lot, especially with the cars. Like talking about those two 36 Fords in there. One's mechanical brakes and one's hydraulic.
Yes.
Well, the stuff I've picked up with Pa and all these other sorts of stuff.
Well, Liam, I think it's wonderful that you're here with Pa, and I've enjoyed the experience here today. And take care of yourself. I'm pleased to hear that you're making some good progress.
Yeah, thank you, Fletch.
When I was a kid, I loved cars, still do. The 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham was the most advanced car in the world. Cost more than a Rolls. Hand-built with a stainless steel roof, cruise control, electric seats, and would you believe, air suspension. American iron. It's a passion Shannons understand. That's why they insure my daily drive, the caddy, my bike, even the house.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
They may not be making the classic Holden anymore, but the legacy lives on. You can still have a Holden certified service using genuine Holden and AC Delco quality parts at over 180 centres across Australia. Go to holden.com.au to find your nearest centre. Book your Holden in, maintain the pride. And of course, if you own a classic, it just has to be insured with Shannons. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And the Shannons Club awaits you. For more information, visit shannons.com.au. How good were they? Pa and grandson, Paul and Liam. You know, this has inspired me. With Paul's 1937 Dodge, there's a 1938 Pontiac that I know about. Close friends and dear to my heart are at Portland, Victoria, travelling there in past years to cover their car show. A couple of years ago, I found the 1938 Pontiac in Craig's shed belonging to his dad, Ray. You can search for this episode on the Shannons Club.
She's running a little bit rough, hasn't really been driven in 15 years, so I don't think much a bit of a tune-up will fix all that up, I think, and fix that exhaust leak. She'll be running sweet.
Since then, unfortunately, Ray has passed away. Ray loved his 1938 Pontiac, and he got to see it out and running again. We filmed an episode featuring Ray a while ago now on the show. It was a tearjerker, and he won over the hearts of many. There was some extra footage filmed back then that we haven't used to date. Anyway, the year after that, I stayed a day longer in Portland because I wanted to help Craig and get the car going. Yes, I thought today's show, after featuring Paul and Liam, was timely to fly it in and show you. The late Ray Dennett from Portland, Victoria. He was quite the character and loved by many. Here's some of Ray's 1938 Pontiac, now in the hands with Craig, his brother Daryl, and their family. So the story of the 38 Pontiac Straight 8 here at Portland in Craig's shed. Last year I just saw the car and wanted to know about it. And what's it doing here, who did it belong to? And lo and behold, it was his father's car, hadn't been started in years. And you can look at that episode, you can search for that on the Shannons Club. And had a bit of a mission to get this old girl out on the road. So it needed a few things doing to it. And it ran, and it's a bit rough, but I just wanted to do a few things to it this morning here and just give Craig a bit of a hand with the car. And it's in tribute to his father as well. And just some basic stuff like making sure that it had full throttle The choke wasn't connected, not that that's a big drama at the end of the day, you don't need chokes always, but hey, look, it's there, so connected the choke back up again. Increase the idle. It's better probably for this old girl to have a slightly higher idle, being a manual as well, and it kind of smoothed itself out, then adjusted the mixture accordingly as well at idle. But just went over and had a look at it. In general, these are pretty basic, but the distributor cap, I don't think that that's ever been changed. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the original cap from 38. Check that out underneath with the flat blade screwdriver, had a look at the little lugs under there and cleaned them up. The rotor button didn't look too bad, put that back in again. And I think the leads were changed apparently in 1942. And it's just amazing how they went from 38 to 42, and then they needed changing, but then they could run from 1942 to 2023 and they don't need changing. So that's pretty miraculous with the leads. So they probably need replacing too. But in all, got it going, and just driving this old car, bringing it to life, just feeling that, you know. And again, in tribute to Ray, Craig's dad, it just meant so much. Well, Craig, state-of-the-art 1938 Pontiac straight 8. It's been resurrected, hasn't it?
Unreal, and thanks again to you this morning coming around and giving it a bit of a finer tune to make it run a bit better, because as we both know, it wasn't running real flat.
It's interesting to drive these old straight 8s as well, because you do appreciate the torque. Like, you know, it's not neck-snapping acceleration, but here we are doing our 80 k's an hour with, you know, minimal throttle. It's just walking along nicely like it'd do it all day.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
This means a lot to me. Last year, when we caught up with your dad, and he was so emotional, and this was his car, you know. And here we are 12 months down the track, and we're out on an open road doing 50 miles an hour in it. And that was the plan.
That was the plan.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I know. It's easy to get in these classic cars and say, I love it every time you get in one. Maybe there's a bit of that. But right now, driving on this open road in a western part of rural Victoria, it's actually hard to comprehend that I'm driving a car that is so old. And
I also, because you know the history now with Dad and the car, and I can see it in you, the emotion. You've nearly got as much emotion driving this car as I do, you know, and I love it. I want to get it out and drive it as much as I can.
Well, you know, people that watch classic Restos that have their father's car, they understand. But what about people watching that are imagining what it'd be like to have their father's car?
Oh, that's right. I wish I still had my father. You know, that's what a lot of people would be saying, you know.
Yeah. What a thing this is. What an amazing car, 1938 Pontiac. And to think that it's trim and its seats, it's still comfortable, it's nice to drive, and just a little bit of a challenge to get it out on the road, and that's been done. So I'm really happy about that. A piece from here and a piece from there. It's the last of the straight 8s. And as for Craig, I've got to give the guy a bit of a hand here and there, you know, and he does a surprising amount of work here in Portland, especially with the car show, and he does great things. Through the year, when he's not doing the car show, he's up in the west of New South Wales, up there helping with harvesting in places like Cobar and goodness knows what, out in the middle of the outback. He's an unstoppable bloke. But a few little fine adjustments to this Pontiac. I was kind of cracking at the bit to get here this morning just to do that for him, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, you know. And the car starts and runs and it drives, and that's really special. And I can see it in Craig, the emotion that this car brings out in him, and hey, that's what it's all about. Well, there you go, Craig. Congratulations, mate.
Done and dusted. Thank you.
Wow. What a thing. Good on you, mate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fletch.
I hope you enjoyed that. Today's episode featured Paul and Liam from the ACT, the West Coast shipping segment to keep in mind for importing your classic, rounding off with some more of the late Ray Dennett and his beloved 1938 Pontiac. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch. Thanks for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ClassicRestosTV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can sign up to be a member of the Shannons Club, your local Holden certified service centre, Pace Farm the enjoyable egg, and Heron Forbes Machinery House, where you can buy online.